On the news, President Muhammadu Buhari signs 21.83 trillion naira 2023 budget into law. Again, gunmen bomb Imo police station. And police redeploy over half of personnel from Ajah division in Lagos State. Well, glad to have you join us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Mary Kanu. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed into law the appropriation bill of 2023, totaling 21.8 trillion naira. President Buhari signed the bill at the council chambers of the State House in Abuja. Given details of the bill, the president pledged that adequate provisions have been made in the budget for the successful conduct of the forthcoming general elections and the transition program. He also directed the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning to engage with the legislature to revisit some of the changes made to the executive budget proposal. Our correspondent Simisola Adigun tells us more in this next report.
After rectifying problems that emanated from the executive in the process of preparing the 2023 appropriation bill, President Muhammadu Buhari has signed the 21.8 trillion naira budget into law to usher in the new year. Speaking at the signing of the 8th and final annual budget of his administration, the president said the aggregate expenditures is an increase of 1.32 trillion naira over the initial executive proposal for a total expenditure of 20.51 trillion naira. The president said that the 2023 budget was developed to promote fiscal sustainability, macroeconomic stability, and ensure smooth transition to the incoming administration.
We have examined the changes made by the National Assembly to the 2023 executive budget proposal. The amended fiscal framework for 2023, as approved by the National Assembly, shows additional revenues of 765.79 billion naira and an unfunded deficit of 553.46 billion naira.
President Buhari said his decision to sign the 2023 appropriation bill into law as passed by the National Assembly was to enable its implementation commence without delay, considering the imminent transition process to another democratically elected government. He added that his administration would speed up critical infrastructure projects nationwide as it raced towards the finish line on May 29 this year.
The Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning will work towards early release of the 2023 capital vote to enable ministries, departments, and agencies to commence the implementation of their capital projects early in support of our efforts to deliver key projects and public services, as well as improve the living conditions of our people.
While commending the National Assembly on the successful signing of the budget, the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, said the major reason for passing the budget at record time is to ensure the implementation of projects.
I think the National Assembly has done very well in meeting its constitutional mandate. And giving the country, it takes all arms of government to be on board to give a true working document for the country. The executive did everything they could, and we have even a wider view, a bird's eye view of what's going on in all the agencies, and we have also complemented what the executive has done.
Nigeria faces challenges of revenue, and this is going to be our focus. This is going to be what the National Assembly, both chambers, will ensure that we get revenues, we find more sources, better sources, stabilize the sources, and of course look into some of the legislations and some of the waivers and concessions granted to see whether or not they deserve to continue to be implemented in the way and manner they were approved.
President Buhari also signed into law the 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Act, which, according to him, would enable the administration to respond to the havoc caused by the recent nationwide floods in the infrastructure and agriculture sectors. Simisola Adigun, TV360, Abuja.
To security matters now, gunmen have raised Afo Ata Divisional Police Headquarters in the Njaba local government area of Imo State. This came barely a few hours after a convoy of former governor of the state, Ikedi Ohakim, was attacked with 4 of his police orderlies killed. In the latest development, the attackers got to the police station and threw explosives on the facility, which went up in flames. However, no policeman was on duty when the attackers struck. The same police station was in June 2021 vandalized after 2 courts beside it were burnt. And Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has commended President Muhammadu Buhari administration for the construction of the second Niger Bridge. The governor, who made the statement after a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the Aso Villa, Abuja, said the bridge made movement easier for Easterners who traveled home for holidays. Also speaking on the level of insecurity in the southeast, the governor appealed to the president to support the deployment of technology for advanced security control in the region.
Only 2 weeks ago, Igbos that came home from Lagos and outside southeast enjoyed the benefits of the second Niger Bridge, something that is worthy of commendation. I also thank him and then appealed to him for a further support, to support us with some technological deployments we have planned to be able to do an advanced kind of security control in the southeast. And he has also given his approval to that. And any moment from now, we will be getting some surveillance equipments and some modern technologies that will help us manage security so that we can fight crime with little or no collateral damage to the environment.
Still in security matters, as part of steps to curb incidents of killings by policemen in Lagos, 3/4 of the personnel serving at the Ajah division have been redeployed to other areas across the state. Confirming the development, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Alabi, explained that the action is a routine movement in those affected are personnel who have spent over 3 years at the division. He added that those affected are deployed to go and deal with the challenges in other areas and get more experience, particularly as the 2023 election is approaching. The move comes in the wake of reports of alleged extrajudicial killings by officers of the division. Gafaru Brahimo was killed on the 7th of December 2022, and weeks after this, an officer attached to the division allegedly shot Barrister Bolanle Ibrahim to death. The governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, has mocked Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, over former President Olusegun Obasanjo's endorsement of the flag bearer of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. Atiku was vice president under Obasanjo from 1999 to 2007. On Sunday, Obasanjo, in a letter to Nigerians, declared his support for Obi ahead of the 2023 general elections and advised Nigerians not to be confused nor gullible about who to vote for. Speaking on Monday at the flag-off ceremony of the construction of a road in Emohua local government area of the state, Wike said there is something fundamentally wrong if Abubakar could not get the support of the former president.
You worked under somebody. I worked with somebody for 8 years. And we're using it as a campaign that when we're in office, we did well. Then my boss is recommending another person not to be. There's something fundamentally wrong. Am I the one? Am I the one? So why me? Am I a passenger who made recommendation for that person? Go and hold your boss who recommended another person rather than you. And I was praying that the passenger should not say anything. When I saw the letter last night, I was touched. If your principal cannot recommend you, then there's something fundamentally wrong. After all, you people went to see your principal, to lobby your principal to recommend you. It took your principal a long time. He now wrote a letter to all Nigerians. So look, I'm not too comfortable. I mean, I'm not bothered about the other people. This one work with you. He work with you. He knows. So, I'm not the one who said this one or that one. Everybody should carry his problem and go where their problems are. Leave me alone. Leave Autumn alone. Leave G5 governors alone. Face your problem where your problem is.
The Lagos State Building Control Agency has resumed its enforcement exercise with the inspection of ongoing development in a Lashe Beach Resort in Oriade Local Council Development Area of the state. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Fiscal Planning and Urban Development, who led the state enforcement exercise, called on the developers and owners of structures within the area to submit their building permit and other relevant documents. He also owners along Lashe Beach Resort to ensure that they carry out a non-destructive test and integrity test to ascertain the status of their buildings.
In this resort, and to request the owners of the buildings to please come forward with their papers and building permits, and also be prepared to submit their buildings to integrity tests. It's known to the public that obviously before you start construction, you need to get the necessary permits. I'm sure everybody knows that. But again, we will be coming up with publicity every now and then in the newspapers and the radios to make them aware. Very soon we'll be in the radio again and the newspaper publications to this effect. But this is again another avenue that before you put up any structure, any development, you need to get the necessary permits to start such development. It depends on what you want to build up. But wherever there's going to be a development, and development starts from once you take possession and you're putting any improvement on the land, whether it's sand filling, whether you're just doing fencing, whether you want to put a temporary structure, please, you need to notify the government and you need to get the necessary permit. Any type of development. It could be a building, like I said, it could just be sand filling. You need to notify us so that we'll advise you appropriately.
We'll take a break here, but still to come, China slams unacceptable COVID curbs on travelers from its territory. We'll bring you details of the story and more right after this break.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has fixed Monday, 12th December 2022 to Sunday, 22nd January 2023 as the dates for the collection of PVCs nationwide from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily, including Saturdays and Sundays. All registrants who are yet to collect their PVCs or requested for transfer of registration, as well as those who applied for replacement of lost or damaged PVCs, can now visit INEC local government offices where they intend to vote to collect their PVCs. Collection of PVCs will be further extended to ward level for those who are unable to collect theirs at local government offices from Friday 6th to Sunday 15th January 2023. Thereafter, the exercise will be reverted to the local government offices of the INEC until Sunday 22nd January 2023. Remember, only those with PVC can vote on election day. Collect your PVC now to vote. It is your duty. This message is brought to you by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), making your votes count, consolidating our democracy.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians have said in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. A recap now of our top stories tonight. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed into law the appropriation bill of 2023 totaling 21.8 trillion naira. This is the 8th and final annual budget of the incumbent administration. The president also signed the 2022 supplementary appropriation bill of 819 billion naira into law at an event at the State House on Tuesday. We also told you that gunmen have raised Afo Atta Divisional Police Headquarters in the Njabaleku government area of Imo State. This comes barely a few hours after a convoy of former governor of the state, Ikedi Ohakim, was attacked with 4 of his police orderlies killed. The same police station was in June 2021 vandalized after 2 courts beside it were burned. In case you missed any of the news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log onto our website in www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. And now to COVID-19 stories and updates. Canada will temporarily require a negative COVID-19 test result for incoming air travelers from the People's Republic of China. This move comes in response to a recent surge of COVID-19 in the country. Starting January 5, 2023, a new temporary measure will require all inbound air travelers above the age of 1 to present a negative COVID-19 test result prior to boarding the flight to Canada from China, Hong Kong or Macau. Meanwhile, China's government has blasted COVID-19 testing requirements imposed on passengers from China and threatened countermeasures against countries involved, which include the US and several European nations. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning said at a daily briefing on Tuesday that the entry restrictions adopted by some countries targeting China lack scientific basis and some excessive practices are even more unacceptable. She added that the country remains firmly opposed to attempts to manipulate the COVID measures for political purposes and will take countermeasures based on the principle of reciprocity. We'll take another break and return with business, international and sports stories, so stay with us.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. Two of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no. You don't need to do this. We're only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey. Okay, which came up with this one now? I don't understand.
You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Well, it's time for business news and stock market report with Folashade Ogurinde. Folashade, over to you.
Many thanks, Mary. And in business, President Muhammadu Buhari says Nigeria is willing to supply Burundi with fuel, promising that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, will look into Burundi's request for energy support. According to a statement by his media aide, Femi Adesina, President Buhari disclosed this in the State House on Tuesday while hosting the special envoy of President Eviste Ndeyishi on request for assistance in the area of energy provision, particularly fueled by the Burundi leader. President Buhari said he knows what it feels like for a country to suffer from energy shortage and promised that he would get the NNPC to look into the request in the spirit of African solidarity and brotherliness. Oil marketers have said that queues at filling stations across the country may persist if consumers and motorists continue to buy the product at selected filling stations, dispensing the product below 200 naira per litre. According to a statement by the National Operations Controller, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, Michael Satuyi, the lingering queues at some filling stations were caused by consumers who insisted on buying the fuel at cheaper retail outlets. The independent oil marketers had in December 2022 reportedly linked a deal with the new NNPCL retail managing director, Hub Stockman, for the direct supply of petrol to IPMAN members at government-regulated price of 148 naira per litre starting from this month. I will take a breather here and return with a review of the stock market. Just stay with us. The NGX ended the first trading in the new year on the positive note at 51,595 basis points, while market capitalization sat at 28.11 trillion naira. 116 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 23 gainers and 11 losers. BUA Foods led the gainers with 10% share price appreciation, closing at 71 naira 50 kobo per share, followed by John Holt closing at 2 naira 80 kobo per share. Now, on the losing side, we see Shelaram topped the losing chart with an end-of-day price appreciation of 2 naira 2 kobo per share, followed by Computer Warehouse Group. Now, market summary sees over 321 million volume of shares valued at 4.34 billion naira, exchanging hands on 4,122 deals. Now, on the global scene, it's a mixed trading day for select global stocks, FTSE, Dow Jones and Nikkei. UK stock FTSE had a bright start this 2023 as investors assessed China's reopening and awaited minutes from the latest US Federal Reserve policy meeting. Now, Nikkei traded the same line, closing in the greens at 0.0032%. It's of course not the same story for Dow Jones, which could not keep its head above waters as concerns such as rising rates and high inflation that's knocked the market down last year continue to trouble investors in the new year. But that's it on business news and stock market review. Back to you, Mary, for the rest of the news.
Well, thank you for the update for the Shade. On a global scene now, the authorities in Burkina Faso have launched an investigation into the circumstances of the deaths of 28 people whose bodies were found in the northwestern town of Nouna. In a statement, the government said the killings were discovered on the 9th of December 30th and condemned the unacceptable violence and have called for calm pending the outcome of the investigation. The West African country is battling an Islamist insurgency that has already displaced nearly 2 million people and prompted 2 military coups within a year. And now to entertainment, Nigerian celebrities made the headlines for different reasons in 2022 and generated a lot of buzz on the internet. From the good to the bad, down to the ugly, there was never a dull moment in the Nigerian entertainment industry. Our correspondent Simisola Adigun brings us unforgettable moments in 2022.
The last 12 months have been a trying period for Nigerians amid a myriad of challenges. Now, despite these challenges, 2022 was a spectacular year in the Nigerian entertainment industry. So here are remarkable events that happened in the year. Singer Daniel Buju Benson caused a buzz online after several videos of him and a policeman fighting on a Lagos road were captured by fans who recognized him. In one of the clips, the singer's car was surrounded by armed men while he looked disheveled in just his singlet and trousers. On Twitter, Benson revealed that he spat in the officer's face and it felt good to do so. Shortly after, the Lagos State Police Command spokesperson Ben Hudein threatened sanctions against the singer based on his tweet, adding that police officers will also be sanctioned for their misbehavior if established. The finesse crooner, however, retracted his initial tweet and pointed out that the expression spat in a police officer's face was idiomatic. He added that he only stood his ground against the physical assault meted against him by policemen who, according to him, have now been brought to book. The year 2022 wasn't all rosy for David Adeleke Davido as he lost his first son, Ifeanyi, to the cold hands of death in October. The toddler, who had just celebrated his 3rd birthday, reportedly drowned to his death in a pool at his father's plush mansion in Banana Island, Lagos. Ifeanyi was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. Further findings revealed that he was underwater for a while before he was discovered and rushed to the hospital. His nanny and cook were detained for further interrogation concerning the duty of care. The Lagos State Police Public Relations Officer Benjamin Hudein, while confirming the 3-year-old's demise, disclosed that 8 domestic staff of Davido were interrogated in respect of the incident. Daniel Oyebanjo Dipang was arrested on December 7 by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) over alleged fraud. The reports alleged that Dipang conspired with some government officials to engage ghost beneficiaries in the Empower payment scheme, with funds meant for beneficiaries being traced to accounts linked to Dipang. Sources disclosed that Dipang had dodged ICPC summons for weeks and claimed he had foreign engagement before his arrest. After almost 72 hours in custody, Dipang's lawyer announced he was released on self-recognition but didn't confirm if the ICPC granted the singer administrative bail. Now there you have it, top event in the Nigerian entertainment industry in 2022.
And now in sports, FIFA President Gianni Infantino has revealed that the World Football Governing Body will ask Nigeria and every other country in the world to name a stadium after Pele following his death last week. Pele passed away aged 82, and Infantino will ask countries to honor one of the all-time greats with a gesture so that children will know Pele's importance. An emotional Brazil began paying its respect to football legend Pele on Tuesday as his coffin arrived at the stadium where he first took the world's breath away. During his more than 20 years as a professional footballer, Pele amassed over 1,200 career goals. Well, that's our package this evening. Thank you for watching. I am Mary Kanu. Bye for now.